You want to tell me what the fuck that was? You want to tell me what the fuck that was? Just quick warning here. I'm really mad right now. So I'm going to swear a lot in this video. So if you are not comfortable with me swearing, or if you're a little kid, please click off this video because I'm going to swear a lot. So be warned. Because what the fuck was that? Did you guys even give a shit after game 2? I'm not being sarcastic. Did you guys really even give a shit? Because it sure as hell didn't look like it. Are you guys kidding me? What was that? How in God's name are you an NBA team? You're a professional basketball player. And you cannot box out? You can't see your man. You cannot mark your man and get your body into him so he doesn't get an offensive rebound. You made Mitchell Robinson look like 2016 Tristan Thompson out there. Are you kidding me? You have Jarrett Allen, who's one of the best interior defenders in the NBA, so-called, looking like he's a 10-year-old kid out there compared to the gigantic man of Mitchell Robinson. Jarrett Allen looked like a scared little kid compared to Mitchell Robinson. And that is why he looked like Tristan Thompson out there. Prime Tristan Thompson. Grabbing every offensive rebound, no matter how many people were around him. He had 4 Cavaliers in game 4 around him. At the end of the game, they still couldn't get a rebound off of him. Jarrett Allen played like a gigantic wuss the entire series. He showed no heart. I am not being hyperbolic about that. He showed no heart. From game 1, he showed no heart. No heart at all. On the rebounding side, on the defensive side of the ball, he was terrible. 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 Darius Garland, I said this in the series preview. Darius Garland needed to be aggressive. He needed to show up. And guess what? He did. He did for 5 quarters in the series. He was good all of game 2. Good in the 3rd quarter of game 4. Outside of that, where the fuck were you, dude? I understand you're 23 years old. You're young. But where the hell were you? We signed you to this big off-season contract thinking you were going to get better. You showed Dickie McGeezax. You showed jack shit in this series. I said this in the beginning. Darius Garland had to show something. He had to be more aggressive. He had to take the ball, be more aggressive. He did none of that. He did none of that outside of game 2. Like I said, 20 quarters, 5 games, 4 quarters each game. He was good for 5 of them. Congratulations. You were good for a quarter of the series. Congratulations. Donovan Mitchell. You were being touted as the best player in the series. We were looking forward to playoff Mitch, playoff D Mitch. Outside of game 1, where were you? You were decent in game 2. Outside of that, you fell off the face of the earth, man, my man. Where the fuck were you? You were terrible. He was terrible outside of games 1 and 2. He was terrible. He was terrible. Jalen Brunson, I will give him credit. He was a lot better than I thought he would be. A lot better. The Mavericks fans and the organization have to be kicking themselves right now because, my God, Jalen Brunson is a star. He's a star. He's a star. I will give him so much credit. He's a star. And you know what? I will admit it. He was better than both Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland in this series. Congratulations. Congratulations. Seriously. Jalen Brunson was better than Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland in this series. And I have no qualms for saying that because it's true. It's true. I'm not being hyperbolic about that at all. Evan Mobley struggled I thought he was going to struggle. I seriously did. In the back of my mind, I thought he was going to struggle because you know why? 21 years old, still not aggressive, just struggled on the offensive side of the ball. He absolutely locked up Julius Randle. Granted, Julius Randle only had 1 foot to work off of, but he locked him up. I'll give him credit for that on the defensive side of the ball, but offensively, he was terrible. Terrible. He was terrible. The sad part about this is that the only 2 people who I saw on the Cavaliers who looked like they could give 2 shits were Karis LeVert and Isaac Okoro. I will repeat that. The only 2 players on that court that looked like they could give 2 shits were Karis LeVert and Isaac Okoro. Not Donovan Mitchell, not Darius Garland, specifically not Jared Allen, not Evan Mobley, Karis LeVert and Isaac Okoro. That's how bad it was. That's how bad the Cleveland Cavaliers were in this series. You let the New York Knicks get 17 offensive rebounds, not once, not twice, 3 different times this series. And that is not because they were better than the Cavs. It was surely not that they were better than the Cavs. Let me tell you that right now. It's the fact that you guys did not hustle. You did not follow elementary school basketball where when you see the ball go up in the air, you don't watch the ball. You look at your guy, see, or just take the closest nick next to you and you put your body on him and make sure that he doesn't get the offensive rebound. But here's an imitation of what Jared Allen did this entire series when he was around in the paint when the shot went up. Mitchell Robinson got the ball. That's what he did the entire series. He was sleeping the entire time. He looked like he could not care. He could not give 2 fucks about rebounding the ball this entire series. Game 4, he averaged a rebound every 10 minutes of that game. Every 10 minutes he was on the floor, he averaged 1 rebound. You're 7 feet tall. How in God's name do you do that? Unbelievable. And let me just say this for the New York Knicks fans, okay? I know you guys are celebrating. You have every right to. I expect you guys to celebrate and lambaste my ass in the comment section because you guys have every right to. And you know what? You guys should because the Cavaliers absolutely fell on their face this series, okay? But let's not pretend that the New York Knicks played any better than the Cavaliers in this series. They didn't. The Cavaliers held the Knicks to under 100 points a game. They held the Knicks to under 100 points. They just couldn't hit anything. They couldn't rebound. They couldn't get any stops. Legitimately, your 2 best players were Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart. Those were your 2 best players. And Mitchell Robinson. So you got 3 players right there. Who are the Cavs' best players in this series? Karis LeVert, Isaac Okoro, Donovan Mitchell. I'm not being hyperbolic about that. I'm not. I know I've been saying that a lot. I'm not being hyperbolic about that. Those were the 3 best Cavaliers in this series. Do you know how sad that is? 2 of your best players were like bench players, were role players, and you had your superstar. Darius Garland, I'm not giving him any credit. He was good for game 2, disappeared everywhere, every other time. At least Donovan Mitchell was single-handedly keeping the Cavaliers in game 1. He was very good in game 2. At least he was good for 2 games. Darius Garland was good for 1. So that's why I give Donovan the edge over Darius. But you guys should be embarrassed. The Cleveland Cavaliers should be embarrassed. And guess what? I'm gonna say this. JB Bickerstaff, outside of the regular season, he's 1-6. He's 1-6. He lost both play-in games. Granted, he lost to KD and Kyrie and James Harden, and not James Harden. He lost to KD and Kyrie in the play-in game, the first one. But then you were up by double digits against Trae Young and the Hawks. And then JB decides, let's switch everybody on defense so that when Trae Young has the ball and he's going off in the fourth quarter, we're going to have Kevin Love guarding Trae Young. Great tactics, dude. And again, this series, what did he do? What were the rotations? Some of the rotations made no sense. They were terrible. We saw rotations that we did not see in the regular season. We had at one point, I think it was game 3, we had Danny Green, Isaac Okoro, Ricky Rubio, Darius Garland, and Evan Mobley all on the floor at the same time. Why are you doing this in game 3 of a playoff series? That should be in freaking mid-February. That should be a rotation in mid-February. Not in game 3 of the playoffs when you're tied 1-1. Like I said, JB cannot control the guys on the court. He cannot control Jarrett Allen not giving a shit about rebounding the ball. He can't give a shit. He can't do anything about Evan Mobley not giving a shit to rebound the ball. He can't do anything about Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland and literally everybody else not hitting any shots. He can't do that. I understand that. But the rotations, some of the tactics that he used, taking out Isaac Okoro for Karis LeVert in the starting lineup after game 2 was a supreme overreaction. It was. It was. I think Isaac Okoro probably should have been in the starting lineup. I think I said LeVert at the time, but hindsight's 2020. But Isaac Okoro probably should have stayed in the starting lineup. And you know why? He could have been on Jalen Brunson. Granted, Karis LeVert did pretty good on Jalen Brunson, but not good enough. But some of the rotations, some of the tactics that JB had were terrible. And I understand that he has to work with what he has. And that leads me to my second point. Kobe Altman deserves so much criticism for what he did at the trade deadline. Or, let me say, what he did not do at the trade deadline. Because you know why? The Cavaliers were rumored and in talks to getting Josh Hart from the Portland Trail Blazers. And what did they do? They sat on their hands. They sat on their hands. And it came out at the interview with Kobe Altman. What does he say? Oh, well, we didn't see anybody who could really be an upgrade for us than what we already have. Really? Really? Well, Kobe, look at what the non-upgrade did to you guys in the series. Look what Josh Hart did. He was basically the catalyst and the glue for the New York Knicks. This is also the same guy that was halfway out the door last year, but then he got saved by Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen, and Karis LeVert down the stretch. He was halfway out the door. He was halfway out the door. And what happens? He got promoted. It's also the same guy that traded Kyrie Irving, who was in his prime, to the Boston Celtics for Isaiah Thomas, who was having major hip surgery, who he only had for like 10 games, Jay Crowder before he was a lethal three-point threat, and Ante Zizic, who did literally nothing, and a first-round pick that turned into Colin Sexton. And that's the guy that you want as your GM, or as the guy who is trying to trade players. And this is another thing. I've seen a lot of Cavs fans who've been saying that we shouldn't have done the Donovan Mitchell trade. We should have. We should have. When you have the chance to get a superstar player in Donovan Mitchell, you do it. You do it. I don't have any qualms about that. I don't. He just sucked this series. I don't know what happened. The main reason why I'm angry right now, and I'll surmise my points in this. The main reason why I'm angry right now is because the Cavaliers in the Knicks series were not the Cavaliers that we saw throughout the season. It's not. It's not the same team. It's day and night difference between what we saw in this series, between what we got throughout the entire year. Throughout the entire season, this team would fight. This team would claw. They would claw their way back. They would rebound. They would hustle. They would dive on the floor. They have the junkyard dog mentality. That's the entire reason why they have that stupid chain that they give out in the post game in the locker room. It's a junkyard dog chain. It's because they're gritty. They're physical. They're tough. And they were none of that this entire series. They deserve to lose the series. I'm not saying that they should have won the series, given the way that they played. They did none of the things that they preached about or did anything that they didn't do anything that they preach about. Nothing. None of it. This team is totally different from what we have gotten the entire year. And it's sad. That's why I'm angry. Because this is not the team that we saw the entire year. This is not. This is a shell of itself. This team is a shell of itself. This is a team that was scared. This is a team that played with no heart, no passion, no effort. They didn't look like they cared. After Game 4, they quit. That's why I said, after Game 4, they quit. They didn't look like they could care less. They look like they could care less. They're like, let's just get this over with. I don't want to deal with this anymore. Well, guess what, guys? You're one of the first teams to go home. Congratulations. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. This is ridiculous. It's a joke. It's a joke. And I should not be more angry. I'll say this. I should not be more angry as a fan than the players are. If you are more angry as a fan than the players are on the team that lost, something's wrong. Something is wrong. Because if I care more than you do, and you're supposed to be the guy that's playing out there for millions of dollars, you're the guy that has Cleveland on your chest, you don't deserve to be here. You don't deserve to be here. I can say a lot more right now. I can say a lot more. What should the Cavaliers do? What should the Cavaliers do in the offseason? Personally, people may say I'm overreacting, but I'll trade Jared Allen. I will trade Jared Allen for bench depth right now. You want to give me a backup center and some three-point shooters? Maybe a three-point shooter? I'll take that right now. I'll take that deal right now. I'll move Evan Mobley down to the 5. I'll do that any day of the week. I will. But let's just say this. Ricky Rubio, thank you for your service for last year, but you suck this year. Goodbye. Dean Wade, your Diet Kevin Love. The only problem is that you're 36-year-old Diet Kevin Love. Goodbye. Jetty Osman, you are the definition of inconsistency. You were terrible this series. Goodbye. I know you're a fan favorite, but sayonara. Goodbye. Danny Green, we only used you for like 2 seconds, but you're 36 years old coming off of an ACL injury. Goodbye. Jared Allen, you're a fan favorite. We gave you a contract extension after last season, but you did not hustle. You did not give any effort when we needed you the most. Goodbye. We need more bench depth, and we think that's going to help us moving forward. Goodbye. And Evan Mobley's better than you at both ends of the floor. That's just a fact. Goodbye. LeVert, you're the only one that can stay. You're the only one that can stay. LeVert and Okoro, there you go. That should be your bench. Please sign Max Strus. Do whatever you can to get Chris Middleton or some other starting 3, and you work your way up from there. But something has to change, because what the Cavaliers just did in this series cannot be. This team cannot be the same next year. This should be an entirely different looking team, especially on the bench, because you don't have any good bench pieces except for Karis LeVert. And maybe Isaac Okoro, if you can get a starting 3. All right. That's going to do it here. I know it's a longer video, but I had to get a lot of things off of my chest. So if you have made it this far, thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Turn the bell on so you guys are notified when I upload a video. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're at 572 right now. Thank you guys so much for your support. Hit the like button as well. Get this super high up on the algorithm when you like the video, or when more people like the video. It does very well in the algorithm. It makes more people see it. So if you guys can hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Literally, it only takes maybe less than a second for both. So just do that for me, please. I'm going to go try and decompress, and hopefully I'll get ready for the draft starting tomorrow night. But thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, thank you guys for all your support. Also, Cash App's right there at the bottom of the screen. That's the best way to donate to the channel if you guys are feeling extra generous. All the donations will go to upgrading the quality of the content here on the channel. So thank you guys so much to all of you who have already donated. All right, this is getting a little bit too long. It's over 20 minutes, about to hit 21 minutes. So I'll stop talking. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys all in another video. Take care.